Hello, Tipo Diplomats, how are you? Welcome to the ACE Institute, organized by Borderless Arts Tennessee. My name is Carlos Calderon. This week we are traveling to the wonderful country of India, specifically a district called Madhubani and a region of Madhubani called Bihar. What are we doing? Yesterday, as you know, let me tell you a little bit of a story about what happened in this district of Madhubani. Madhubani is an art that reflects the colors and the vibe of that district in India. As you can see here, I drew this so you can have an idea some of the elements that they use. Elements like peacocks. The peacocks is up to your creativity, okay? You can do something else, but since we are in India, let's try to do as much as possible this Madhubani, make it real. So things that you have to pay attention, which I'll show you later, but let me first introduce you to the process. I'm going to show you, and you are going to work on the pattern of your frame, whatever you're using. Usually it's gonna be paper in this time because due to the situation that we live in the world right now, we cannot go out that much. So what we're gonna do is using paper, and also you can use any recycling paper from the supermarket if you have it at home. If you have a piece of cardboard as well, a box that you're not gonna use, cut it, and it's up to you, just the size that you want. What I'm gonna do now is I am going to use just printer paper, regular paper. It could be a sketch paper, but I'm gonna use a paper of printer. So, okay, before we move on to the project, let me remind you from yesterday, last night. Remember, I was baking, or in this case, I was air fried these tequa cookies. Delicious. Apologies. Tequa cookies are eaten during the process of making and design a Madhubani art. Why? Because it really takes a long time. So doing some research, I found out that this piece of art takes so long time because of the details that it has. So that people, what they do, they make these amazing tequa cookies, and while they are painting and designing, they eat the cookies with the tea or water. Okay, some of the materials that you can use are markers, colorful markers. And the point has to be really a fine point. I use these dry erase markers because they do have a really fine point, as you can see. And this is a better way to start. Beginners can start designing and creating Madhubani art. Why? Because it's really, really detailing. And I will show you later what happened, because originally, the Madhubani used sticks, wood sticks, really thin. What we can use here is skewers, and if you're going to work on a very bigger project, not in this small piece of paper, the wood stick works perfect. But if you're going to do, like for example, I was trying to do an example. I already traced this, and we're going to talk about this in a moment, but I try to put the ink, and look, the design, the layout of the dark black marker that we use is not showing up. So that's not the purpose. Okay. So what we do first is we sketch our design. In this case, I am using a template that I got from internet, which I will show you. Also, I send you some templates that you can use. But this is a simple design that we can use. It's a peacock. In India, okay, some of the different designs that you can work on is drawing peacocks, birds, fish. So I am designing a peacock here, but using the template that I found on internet. And you can also, remember that you can be creative, okay? Your creativity is what matters here. So this is integrating I found this really interesting because it's integrating a peacock, and the body of the peacock is part of the shape of a fish. Okay. All right. First step is this: layout, design your object. Okay, I have my design. So now, the main goal in designing and painting a Madhubani is working on the details of borders. So you're gonna create a pattern around the frame that you're working. Different ideas of borders for the pattern of your design is designing and creating dunes on your lines that I'm going to show you. These are diamonds shape, okay? Also create a very nice effect when you use color and when you paint this with the ink, which I will show you also in a moment. So let's go back to my design. So here in my design, I decided to create a different pattern, and the patterns are more, the motif that they use have to be more detailed. Okay, this is the design, as you can see. To make a Madhubani art, you have to, okay, we are going to trace over the pencil sketch that you already designed with a dark marker. This marker is quite a medium point, not a fine point, but I want to make a difference on the double line that we are going to create on the design of the Madhubani. For this one, I'm using a very fine point marker. So let's start with the double line. And this is what differentiates a Madhubani art from other art from India. As you can see, with the fine point, you can create a double sketch. And this is what will really define the art that you are creating, the Madhubani art. Okay, once we have, let me finish this part. Bear with me here. I'm really glad that you are working on this project because when I started working on this design, and I'm gonna show you later behind me, I was like 3 hours designing this. Okay, important, see, I've been working here for half hour and delicious tequa cookies. Okay, continue with this. You can see here, I first trace with pencil. If I were you, really stick with the pencil because you are beginners in the Madhubani art, the same as me. So I trace this. As you can see, there is a difference here between this one that I already designed for you. I used this fine point marker. Here I used the medium size to define a little bit more vibe and texture to it. So now let's do the design. This is the part that it takes a little bit of more time. And here is where you are gonna test your patience. You have to be really patient. We are going to create these slant lines. You can make it straight, but I love the effect that the slant lines defines this art that I'm drawing here. And you see when we use the colors, how beautiful it's gonna look. Okay, I'm gonna move on the other side so you can see the effect of the drawing and then painting with using the inks that I will show you in a moment. Okay, continuing with the design, I am creating now the texture, which is gonna be with lines, as I mentioned before. So I'm gonna make this like a color that the peacock will be wearing. And I am making like the feathers of the peacock. As I mentioned, this is really for your creativity. I am making it's like a dune long shape. Do you see how detailed and very precise you have to work with this Madhubani project? And I already love it. I love just the fact that we are drawing this, and it makes more real the art that we're creating in making this dune shape movement, creating the feathers of the peacock. Okay. The neck of the peacock is finished. Now let's go with the wing. The same thing, slang in my design. I'm using slang lines, tracing these lines in between the two lines that we create. We sketch this Madhubani art. And okay, I'm going to do something different here. Let's do some feathers. And this is where you can be, this here is where you can be a little bit more creative. When designing this area, you can add some more, a different design to it. So you can, when you paint your Madhubani, you have colorful details, and the more details you use, the more Madhubani art you create. Look at that. Now I'm going to design just the profile of the fish here. Let's make a smiling face. And this fish, I think I'm going to put a colorful, bright eye in blue. More double lines, and then the slant lines that I'm creating here. One clear, where I'm going to put the color, and the other one, then I start creating the scales of the fish. Okay, now let's do some, I'm not finishing my whole design, but I just want to show you the basic parts of it. After that, it's just a pattern that you create. You keep working with patterns, pattern. Anything is possible, anything is accepted. There's no rules in terms of doing so. This is what I did. See, I Googled something on internet, and I found this nice Madhubani art for beginners, and that's what I'm showing you here. After you design your Madhubani, paint. So in India, they use different kinds of paint. This is an Indian ink I have. If you don't have India ink, you can definitely use your color markers, as long as they have fine point, because you'll see now detailing this with the colors and the tracing outline that you already did. You have to keep the outline of it, and the outline is darker than the colors that you're going to put, just to outline your design. I'm going to use the orange India ink, and here, let me show you how thin is this paintbrush. There you go. Okay, so let's create some beauty here. As you can see, this is a lot of detail. So my suggestion when you are designing your Madhubani, look for something that has more space, and then you can be more comfortable. Or if you have the patience to do this, what I'm doing, and the outcome will be really beautiful. Just work with it, be patient, grab some terqua cookies, and let's keep making Madhubani. I want to create more contrast on the neck of the peacock. So I'm gonna use green ink color. And just keep painting. It looks so interesting, and look how the peacock is getting alive, which is what they try to do when they do you do the double lines. It's for a purpose. The double line will create more reality to your design, Madhubani design. I'm going to do another row of scales here, painting, and then I will go with the blue. Let me finish 3 more scales. Once again, be patient. If you want to make, if you think that you are not going to take, it's going to take a long time for you, just make bigger designs with more space in between. Now I will change with the blue. Now the blue color. Wow, love it. Love the colors, how they blend in this peacock neck. Oops, I used a little bit. See what happened here? This is a good example. I rushed myself a little bit and I use more ink than I'm supposed to. Something that you can do is, because when you're working with this India ink, you can just use a piece of napkin or Kleenex and try to dry. Look, see, you put it on top and it dries, and you can see again your layout with the darker marker that you use. Let me finish one more row, and I still have a lot of ink here. Okay, and almost done with this. Okay, look at that beautiful neck. I designed this big Madhubani art so you can see how we differentiate Madhubani art with other arts. Why? The 2 lines and the details and pattern of the border of your design. I'm using here the dune shape design. Dune shape design is something that they use lots. They also use circles, diamonds, triangles. Okay, and with the blue color, I will make the lines that will define and the pattern that I'm using in the border of my Madhubani art. Remember, just patiently work with this. The more detail you have, the better Madhubani art you will create. Okay? Okay, so now to create more vibe and movement here, I am going to make a double dune shape inside the dune shape that I originally draw. And another small one, but I'm gonna color that one. Could be in the shape of round shape, or you can do triangle, half diamond. But in this case, I'm gonna keep going with the dune shape. As you can see, I am using this is a medium fine point in this case because this is a bigger Madhubani. I am going to start working on the profile face of my peacock. And just showing you how you can create motion and reality to your art. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to finish this and I will show you how colorful this will turn out, and I will also share with you my final paint that I was doing here, creating with you. So you can see the end result of this amazing Madhubani art. And remember, if you want to do some research about Madhubani art, do it. It's very important. I try to show you the beginner part of it. Look for a place. Remember that art is your emotions, peaceful inside your soul. So you know when we do the India, so we can do that. We can do some yoga as well, okay? So set up your area, get your materials handy, okay? Markers. If you want to, I encourage you that you can definitely work with this, with the sticks. You can use skewers, okay? If you're gonna use the ink. If you're gonna use markers, fine point markers, your paper, a piece of paper. Once again, remember I told you that you can get a recycling bag from the supermarket. And I think it will create, I know that you will create more vibrant, colorful Madhubani art because they use darker pieces of paper. Here, because we are using what we have available right now at home. Your pencil, your paint brushes. If you have one with really thin, fine point, remember to use it. And most important, Tekwa cookies on the side. We air fried approximately like 10, remaining are 4 here. And just try to also work, if you have a construction paper, start working in a big piece of construction paper, and you can start designing your Madhubani. This is gonna be easier. I did it yesterday, and it was really helpful for me because I found out that working in a bigger space, with more space, is gonna help me out to then create a Madhubani art in a small piece of paper. So I will see you later. We have one more stop to do in Asia. Remember always, I trust you. And as you learn from me, I always learn lots from you, from each one of you. So I will see you soon.